Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another devlog. So yeah, last session I was kind of blocked on the on passing the CodeCrafters challenge test for this stage. Of course, the error itself was quite cryptic. I used ChatGPT to kind of solve figure out what is wrong with my code, and then from there I got some feedback. I tried to apply it, and at the end, ChatGPT wasn't also happy with my with the result I was generating. But today, when I started to go to the same state as my last tryout, it was fine, and it was happy with the result I was generating with that label formatting that I was doing before. So with that out of the way, I submitted the challenge again, and this time it failed with the same cryptic error that I was getting in a few sessions ago, where we were doing the answers. And again, the solution here was similar. Instead of passing on the complete answer, I needed to compress it, even though the document says it's not needed. So with that out of the way, I ran the test and everything worked. So to do a recap of what's happening, the label itself, which I was passing on in the question section, basically this piece became useless. All the things that they did for formatting it was useless. Instead of that, I'm just compressing, and my trick on compression is to track the label start for each question and basically use it in the answer definition over here. So basically for each answer, I'm also indicating where the related question byte resides in the incoming message, so it can refer to. And then in the answer section, I'm just writing it in the first 2 bytes. So again, the changes with relation to the size of the answer are also reverted. Now the size is only 12 plus the data length, which 12 is 2 bytes for the pointer, and the rest is for rest of the data, so type, class, TTL, and lengths. There is, of course, one problem here which I need to take a note. We are just using the list significant byte of the first 2 bytes, meaning it's not going to support all of the available addresses. However, there is I'm just relying on the premise here that they do not expect the message to be compressed, even though it wasn't working, and they are indicating that they are not going to ever send a message that is going to overflow the restricted size, and my tests are passing. My plan is to refactor this application in the next series that I'm going to do, and make it something that I'm going to use daily. And that's my next challenge. And for that, I'm thinking I'm going to follow the same path as the actual DNS servers, and do not support multi-question DNS queries. With that out of the way, the next step is to turn this into a forwarding DNS server, which was kind of bummer for me. When I started this challenge, I was thinking about the actual DNS tree traversal and figuring out the servers, this DNS server that I use. I forgot its name. So instead of asking another DNS server, is actually going to ping the top level domain and traverse down to figure out the IP address. That would have been quite interesting, but this challenge is apparently only supporting the forwarding server at the moment, which basically means every time somebody requests something, it will ask another DNS server for the result and serve that result, kind of like a proxy. The benefit of this, of course, is, for example, caching and making it improve the DNS request in a network. DNS request performance in a network. So if multiple clients are asking the same question, only the first one would have a delay and the rest would be served via cache through a TTL. And for this, I have, I believe, kind of two things I've never done before. The first one was parsing a command line argument. I didn't know how it's going to be done in Zig. So that's why I checked the code example. And the second part is, I think that I'm kind of familiar with. The second part is making a HTTP a network request to an upstream DNS server. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do now, and take it from there. So I first search the Zig main. Over here, I need to do command line argument parsing. Yeah, show me the code. I just want to show that there are different approaches. The first one, which was kind of the most complex one, is this strategy. But what it does is basically checking the argument like this, right? And the args is defined up here, stdo as argv, and it's taking all of them, right? And then only if the length is what it expects, it's checking the value of the first argument to be equal to resolver, and then based on that, basically get the expected resolver IP address. The other one, which was this one, was less verbose, but kind of the same. It's, as long as there is an argument available, it's trying to parse it. So every time it sees a resolver, it checks if there is another argument available, and if there is one available, it's considering that as an address, and then last index of colon. Oh, okay, this one is also supporting ports. This is fancy. Good. And then where IP is 4 bytes, part split any on dots, up until colon. What happens here? If there is a colon, do this. There is no else, so it's expecting always the colon to be available. Okay, but that wasn't part of the direction, right? Here it's no, okay, it's part of the expectation. So hey jumpers team, I'm not using Vim motions, I'm using Emacs. So with Emacs key binding and some home row mods, so quite boring, but yeah, this is how I edit my code. So not this one, this is, I was interested in the other one. This UI on CodeCrafters sometimes can be annoying. So now we have our parse, and then for each IP address, we have octet, octet. What's this? Try parseInt. Yeah, with regards to CodeCrafters membership, to be honest, I believe it's a good start. At least for me, it's helping to keep myself dedicated to it, but I'm kind of disappointed with this challenge. There were some issues in the Zig support. I never got a useful error message out of it, but on the bright side, it was helping me to dig deeper myself. Now, even I'm thinking of continuing this challenge for myself and make it useful, something that I'm going to try. But I doubt that I'm going to continue my subscription after this challenge. This would be the last, and from there I'm going to just work on my own projects in Zig. I just needed something to start with, so this was a good start, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try to do something similar to this. This is interesting. I think this is the first argument that is going to skip. This is the program's name. So the first one is skipping. This is actually a very nice implementation of argument parsing. But maybe what I can do, I can create a struct arguments, right? And then here, wait a minute, I forgot how to define a struct. Yeah, just the type. I hope this works. What I need is IP, which is 4 pieces size of U8, and then port, which what type do they use for port? It's unsigned. Let's also do unit. So this is it, and then I can do cons and parse, and then nothing over here, and the return value would be this. And what is the error? Okay, some syntax challenges, but now I'm in a good place. And then so const args is equal to cd, it was mem dot args, or cd process dot args, right? And then it will be skip what did they use for std mem equal returns true if and only if the slides have the same length and all elements compare true using equality. Okay, then the type would be u8. The should be arc, and then here I'm going to use what is it called, the resolver, right? Then our next, we're considering that an address, and then okay, now I'm thinking maybe we need to consider these arguments optional. So if we failed, but I'm going to take care of it later. But here it's doing if args.next, and then we are calling this address. I'm going to just do what he is doing there, and then if cd, what was it, mem? Yeah, that last index of comparison is u8. I love how they named this. The type haystack and needle. So last index of the haystack would be the address, and the needle would be colon, right? And then here we will have the colon. Okay. This piece, I don't understand why it's happening, but we have parse the IP. We are splitting on the dots. So let's do the same. Var parse cd any u8 buffer would be address from 0 to colon, and the delimiter also is that. Yeah. Ah, this is interesting. So it is indicating an empty slice with 4 pieces and iterating on each piece, getting a pointer to that, and then setting its value. So var IP of type 4 u8 equal to undefined, and then for and IP we are getting p for part, and then p dot star equal to try cd what is name, cd fmt parseInt, fmt dot parseInt from yeah, I want a u8. My what is it using here then? Okay, these iterators are really interesting. So parse dot next just takes the next one, and then on base 10 we want to do it. Okay, I'm really happy that I looked into this solution. Then there is a port. We are doing parseInt after the colon, and everything that is there. Yeah. Okay. For okay, so instead of that struct, I can return this. Net address. And then okay, here yeah, all this one server, and the type of it would be type of this. Oh, net that address. This is what I'm looking at, and then this one I can remove, right? And this will return arguments. I doubt this is the yeah, the best way to implement this, because now I'm all over the place, but I'm going to continue doing this and set the server. What happened to that line? Okay, no matter. I'm going to write it again. Net address init IP4 IP port, and like this. Right, and then I want to have a default value as well, and I'm going to, for now, set it here. Yeah, I think I removed this one too. Okay, so now I can use this function up here. I have allocator and everything, and well, true. So I'm going to parse the arguments once. Args. Actually, I need to change the other arguments to be like this. Yeah. And then the next piece is actually let's make sure this piece is working. So print like this, and then here do arguments.server. Not X, Z build. What happened? What is the return type of this? The executable test is corresponds with the expected type. Arbitrator found. Should this be war? Is that what you're okay. Unexpected type const u8 for p star. Yeah, I think there was a no. Cannot print server union without a specifier. Be usable now. The thing is, here I'm going to return this, right? But up here I'm going to where are you? Here print any. Okay, now what is inside this your program? Can I okay, your program, and then what was the resolver 8888. Okay, there is more than what I expected, but let's focus on arguments dot server. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, this should be right. Okay, on this server, can I get an in? any argv4 equal format get port get OS socket. No. It's not setting it. It's not setting it. Yeah. The reason I see, yeah. I guess this is the piece, right? And it's not setting it because there is no, yeah, and now it's setting it. Cool. There was no colon, so it's working. If I pass in something invalid, it's just switches back to my default value. That's good. So far, so good. And then what else do I need to do? I want to make a request. And I previously read the code from the same guy. I used his idea on argument parsing. And it seems quite similar to what we are doing when we are responding. All right. And these two are, yeah, we have done this already. Okay, we have received bytes, but there is this sendto down here that is similar. Let's see how it's doing over here. It opens up a ticket, socket. And then I'm not sure about these two values. I need to check them and then defer closing it and then sendto. We pass a file descriptor, which is this socket, and receive the bytes. This is the question that we are basically the same query we are receiving. We are passing it up to upstream. Resolver any. What is resolver? Okay, this is the server that any for me. Okay. Let's try to do it in another function. I'm going to extract this piece, put it inside args.zig like this, and then const argument is this. Yeah, and everything else is irrelevant. Remove this too. Net doesn't exist. Did I import net here? Yes. So imp std. Actually, let's do this. Do std and then let's net equal to std.net. Everything else should be fine. And down here, I would say const arguments is equal to import, not message, arguments, args. That's it. Yeah. This should be fine. And then let's use. Do we have down here what's saying? Yeah, I removed that print. It's not going to compile now. So I'm going to write a function call it query. Pass it a buffer any size U8 and get an answer from it. Right. Then I'm going to have var response of type 1024 U8. Keep it undefined. What else can I do? I need to open the POSIX file descriptor, so I'm going to call it const response fd. I think it was POSIX. What is it called? POSIX. Try POSIX socket, and then POSIX. POSIX.af.inet and POSIX.sock .dgram, and here protocol 0, right? And we differ POSIX. Oh no, oh, close. Response fd. Turn music back on. I wanted to check this out. I believe I saw it before, but so there is domain, socket type, and protocol. Okay, these are socket errors, that's irrelevant, but this one doesn't have much of the documentation, fortunately. And for now, let's follow as describing. Here we are sending the request, POSIX.sendto. I think this should be right. Here we have the buffer. I'm going to cut off the buffer where I'm going to pass it to it. And then here we have 0. Destination address was response. And address len. Okay. Here I'm going to get a server, which is of type net address, and destination address yeah, is server.any, and then I have server.get os socket len, like this. And then it's kind of similar. I'm going to copy this for now. These functions unfortunately don't have much documentation. It will be responsive thing. Yeah. If suck fd is opened in non-blocking mode, the function will return error block. Yeah. Nothing more than that. Okay, I think this is where it gets full circle. I'm going to, for now, return void here. Then here, print. Yeah, and here I'm going to call query function with buffer from 0 to received bytes and to arguments.server. Yeah, and then Zigbee will run my resolver. Union is discarded. I was having a union, so yeah. And trying it with the should be enough. No, yes. Nice, and then echo. Nice. So what do I need to do now? One easy way, to be honest, could be I just return this response. It's kind of stupid because eventually the target application doesn't care if shouldn't care, right? Unless they are explicitly asking for some values to be changed. This program will need to respond with a DNS reply packet that contains a header, same as in stage 5, a question section, an answer section. Here are a few assumptions you can make about the tester. It will always send you queries for a record. This is also another bummer about this challenge, that it only supports a records. So your parsing logic only needs to take care of this. Here are a few assumptions you can make about DNS server you're forwarding the request to. It always responds with an answer section. It will only, when there is only one question in the, it will only respond when there is only one question in the question section. If you send multiple questions in the question section, it will not respond at all. So when you receive multiple questions in the question section, you will need to split it into 2 DNS packets and then send them, then merge the response. Okay, so this is the part. I think in that case, yeah, I need to parse the response and basically invoke my query, this piece, wherever I'm generating the answer. So pick this up inside the question down here. This is where so I doubt that I can make it tonight, but this is what needs to be done. To do one, I need to add question to don't I have it already? Question.zig fn no, and for answer, yeah, I have to have the byte, the toBytes section. Main.zig and then yeah, I need to do these 2 pieces, and for that I'm going to get back tomorrow. But today's session was quite interesting. I learned a few things. The most important one, I think, was with regards to argument parsing, which I have this itch to rename this to arguments.zig. Yeah. And also here. Yeah, this is better. With regards to argument parsing, there was with this approach that this person did. What was his name? Not this one, but this one. Steven, thank you for the tip. I think this was an interesting solution by you. So in an array, I have this iterator, which is quite useful. And to be honest, I didn't know these syntaxes are possible in the if as well. And then it was very smart to use it here inside the function, so you don't need to have an extra loop. Also, assigning IP addresses to different pieces of an array with this syntax was quite interesting. Thanks for that. And then the second thing I learned was this request population. So basically, I need to have a file descriptor and then send the request with that, and then try to receive the bytes out of that request. Still in my mind, it's a little bit clouded on why we have two separate calls. One send a message, the other one receive a message. Why they cannot be one? But this is something I need to dig deeper. Unfortunately, the documentation, there is not much documentation in the code about it, but I believe on the website I should be able to find something. With that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Thank you, jumpers, for the question. Nice questions you asked. And yeah, with that being said, have a nice evening. See you in the next one.